Heard you.
Boom shaka laka. You already know the vibes. It is
Yeah.
Rod who run the city. We are
Yeah.
in the building. Tea time, big fan, breezy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both took some L's tonight, Playboy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, man, Nets fans is the best fans, man.
Cat.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. Shit. Listen, man, that was a tough game for us, man. You could start, but I was going to say we could start depending on who won tonight, but you know,
Yeah, nah,
both of us lost, so
we both took
I
some
guess
L.
the Brooklyn Nets start with the letter B. I mean, but
It
if
don't
you,
matter.
well, I saw my predictions. I said 3-1. We were 2-2. I thought we could have won tonight's game. I'll start with that because it just went off, and I'll work my way backwards. Well, you could talk about tonight's game after that. Then we could just, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it was good to see us playing well without Kevin Durant being the leading scorer and doing everything. Ben Simmons showed up. They just want to say right now it's everywhere is whether or not he turned the corner. I think he did. I think he was perfect, like an 8 for 8 tonight, and I think he did. I think he turned the corner. I think he's back to his former self, out there playing basketball like when he was a kid growing up in his Aussie days, because he's a true Aussie, and now he's playing like he's making where he's from proud. You know what I'm saying? Whole Australia is proud the way Ben Simmons is playing. They might open up a restaurant. He probably got a restaurant in Australia right now. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Ben Simmons, because you definitely turned the corner and you definitely did your thing. You know what I mean? Shout out to Barry. He's a Nets fan. Nets fans is the best fans.
The KD is a difference.
Trust me, man. I seen something that said, and Barry posted it, that he gonna be here, win or lose, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
As long as KD there. Once KD leave, he's gonna be gone with KD.
Listen, but right now KD's still on the team and he played like it tonight. Played almost had shy. He was shy of 40 points. Real aggressive. He stayed in the game, didn't give up. He had a spurt where he was cold, wasn't knocking nothing down, had open shots as well. Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, and the rest of the team made it. They kept feeding Kevin Durant, even though he was cold. And we couldn't get offense out of Joe Harris. A lot of fans are on the fence about keeping Joe Harris for very reasons. The games that we lost, he was part of the offense that we needed to go to, because everybody else wasn't, and I'm saying, clicking on all cylinders. Even with superstars, you're not going to have them play well every night. You got KD, who played 15 games. They tied with Jordan record for 25 plus out the start of the season. Then he had 12, and you know what I'm saying. And then we had a night where he stat wise it looked nice, but it was a spurt where we couldn't score because we was feeding Kevin Durant the ball, and it was shots that he usually takes. So I'm not really mad at Jack Vaughn for his substitutions tonight. But being loyal to Joey, it has been costing us, and I think we definitely got to go a different direction minute wise. Even if they feel like they don't want to trade Joey, especially after a night like tonight, you know what I'm saying? It was tough to see. It was tough to watch. Joey miss those open shots, man. Keep it real with you, bro. But yeah, man, I could go on all day, man. But go ahead, man, talk your shit. But that I was just telling y'all why I hurt as a Nets fan. You know what I mean? Because Joe Harris and Nick Claxton are the players before and after, and Jack Vaughn. They're as far as the roster and what's going on with the roster. Jack Vaughn, Joe Harris, and Nick Claxton are the guys that have been with the Nets the longest from 2016 and up. Just that regime with Sean Marks and from then. But I don't think Joe Harris has lived up to the hype, and it's hurting the Brooklyn Nets. And we got to figure that out. And not having Wasabi Watanabe hurt us tonight because Joe Harris is not playing well. Wasabi Watanabe, he leads the league in 3-point percentage. He plays great defense. He's a great wing, and he's coming off the bench he's like I said, leading the league in 3-point percentage. And again, he's a two-way player, and everything that we want Joe Harris to do, Wasabi Watanabe does. And the fact that he's not there, we feel it. we see, you look at what we shot as far as from the 3-point line, we feel it. Yeah, we'll say a lot about how you say Seth Curry and Joe Harris, but we really feel it that he's not there. You know what I'm saying? We went 36%. In contrast, we definitely shoot better with Wasabi Watanabe on the floor. But again, I was two. I said 3-1. We was 2-2. As a fan, I respect it. John Vaughn, he's more of a winning coach right now. But I ain't gonna lie, tonight was a tough loss. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Pacers. They play great basketball. But as a fan, I definitely wanted to win that game, and I felt like we had a good chance.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy Kevin in the building. You know what I mean? You already know. We rock. You know what I mean? Yeah, but tonight this loss, man, and y'all and you can attest to this too, Big Fan Breezy. I don't never really complain about refereeing, son. I don't ever really do it. But tonight, this was some of the worst refereeing and
Mm-hmm.
officiating I've seen in my whole entire life. Jeremy
Mm-hmm.
Grant shot just as much free throws as my whole entire team. He shot 28. I mean, he shot 28 free throws. The
The
most
Cavs
free
said all
throws,
facts.
the most free throws that has been shot by any player in the entire NBA this season. He shot 28 free throws by himself.
That's amazing. No, that's
So,
that's funny. Now I gotta
so let
laugh. I'm gonna
so
be honest. That's usually that's crazy. Like
so
one
so
player.
yeah. So let me just break down the game in its entirety. We scored more field goals than him. We made
Okay.
40. We scored more buckets. We made 46 field goals to their 42.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We made more 3-pointers than they did. 13
Mm-hmm.
to their 10. Again, like I said, free throws. They shot 51 free throws as a team. We shot 28. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They got 3 more rebounds than us. We got more assists than they did. We had more steals than they did. We had
Mm-hmm.
more blocks than they did. We scored more points in fast breaks than they did. We scored more points in the paint than they did.
uh,
Yo, we won this game on every level except for the free throw disparity. And it was some of the most softest pity pat fouls, and they wasn't calling it the same way on the other end. That's my thing. If you're gonna call
mm-hmm.
these fouls, call it the other way.
Mm-hmm.
We want that same love too.
Yeah.
Because as you just heard, my team dominated the game in every asset except for the free throws. Where Jeremy Grant shot just as many free throws, uh, just as many free throws as my whole entire team. One person. They doubled. They almost doubled. They almost doubled as a team what we shot in free throws tonight.
Yeah.
Craziness.
And y'all was at the Garden.
Yeah, craziness. Now I'm gonna give credit where credit was due. They did make some tough buckets, man. Like I ain't gonna lie. That boy Anthony Simon, he Anthony Simon,
Mm-hmm. That's why they traded C.J. McCollum.
he was making some tough buckets. Jeremy Grant,
Mm-hmm.
outside of the fouls, you know what I mean? He made some tough buckets too. But bro, half of his points came from. Hold on, let me get my stat right because
So
like I said,
how did it end? Was it a dramatic ending? I seen it went to
overtime.
overtime.
Overtime, we lost by 5. No, we
Okay.
lost by 3. Excuse me.
Why? Because of free throws.
Free throws, bro.
So
Bro,
free throws iced the game is what I'm asking.
because it came down to a free throw. Like it came down, we have to foul you now to keep ourselves in the game. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But the game was they was calling fouls on everything, son. It was ridiculous. It was
So
ridiculous.
how they Quentin Grimes doing Anthony Simons?
That kid is a bucket. Quinn Grimes did as well as he could. He played some tough defense on, but they run a lot of screens. You know what I mean? So they was and they what they was doing. They wasn't attacking Quentin Grimes. They was getting the screen and attacking R.J. Barrett between Jeremy Grant and what you gonna call it Anthony Simmons. They was attacking R.J. Barrett. They wasn't really going at Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes had a really good game. I think he should have got some more PT because R.J. Barrett was struggling for most of the game, especially on the defensive end in some stints. So like I thought like Coach Tommy T should have peeped that RJ's not really scoring. He's struggling on defense. Quentin Grimes is playing well defensively. Not only is he playing well defensively, he was setting people up with passes. I think he had like 6 assists tonight.
So what's going on? I'm gonna be honest, man. You know, I keep my ear to these NBA streets. I'm not hearing RJ taking that turn like y'all want. Like
Yeah,
he's
he's struggling right now. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, well, in a road trip, they were saying that there was an illness going around.
I heard something like that too.
Yeah, so even listening to Mike Breen and all of them, they like, yeah, and watching it, he looked like he was running slow. He didn't have no lift in his legs and stuff like that. And RJ Barrett, in my perspective, he's just pressing the issue. He's forcing it. Like he's trying to
Mhm.
go to the basket and lay it up on three guys. Like we don't need him to do that. You feel me? This
I ain't
team,
gonna lie. I tuned in. Is it true that Brunson is a defensive liability?
uh,
Teams attack him.
they tried to, they tried to, but
Okay.
I wouldn't say that the good outweighs the bad. You feel me? Because a large part of the reason why we came back in this game was because of Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
You feel me?
How so? Explain.
Getting buckets, getting tough buckets, man. Like and getting timely buckets. He was taking guys to the rack, hitting them with the spin move in the paint. You know what I mean? Like he
So, in your opinion, who won that matchup between Brunson and Simons?
Simons had like 38 tonight, son.
Damn.
Yeah, like he was going off. Like what he had? Yeah, he had 38. He had 38. Jalen
Oh
had
man.
44, and what he 21 of them was from the foul line.
hmm
He had 44 points. 21 of them was from the foul line. Outrageous, right? Uh, but
That's new. That's
so,
new.
bro, it was the worst officiating I've seen all season, bro. It was ridiculous. It was disgusting. Like like if I was the coach, I would gladly take the fine to criticize the coach, the referee in the night, because they
hmm
were not calling the game fair. It was uneven officiating all night. Yo, in the third quarter, we was already in the penalty. 8 minutes left with the court in the quarter, bro. Like this,
Yeah.
like I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous, bro. And they they was murdering people on the other end. Like, but yeah, it's a tough loss, man. It's a tough loss. Even though Dame didn't play, the Portland Trail Blazers are still a good team. Dame already missed 8 games this season, and they still 11-8. You feel me?
Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
Dame, they played a lot of games.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're a tough team, man. So like I'm mad at the loss. I'm more mad at the loss because of the refereeing,
mhm.
right? I'm not because we win this game if this game is
So who
officiated.
was the MVP? It was it Grant or the referees?
The referees,
The
the ref,
referees MVP of the.
bro, half of his points came from the foul line. 21. He scored. He shot 28 times from the free throw line and made
You gotta
21 of them.
you
Like,
gotta find out the referee name and give him the MVP, man.
bro, all of them, all of them.
But those are garden referees. This is what I'm.
No, see, there's no such thing as a garden referee. No referee is from your town. They take referees from all over the country. They mix them up. You know what I mean?
So home cooking don't mean nothing then.
It used to at some points, like, but not tonight. You feel? Not tonight. They was doing they was doing us filthy. They was doing us filthy, bro. Like it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
Yo,
But
I ain't know how home cooking. Yo,
but
happy Thanksgiving to everybody,
but
man.
there was
If you celebrate Thanksgiving, like my guy Kyrie said, you know what I'm saying.
so but there was some bright spots. Jalen Brunson dropped 32 tonight. You know what I mean? Uh Manuel quickly coming off the bench gave us a solid 18. That's another thing too. Our bench is definitely missing Derrick Rose because outside of Manuel quickly, nobody really gave us no buckets coming off the bench. Obi had a bad night, but he was still a plus 14 for those people who care about things like that. But yeah, he nobody really gave us much. Sims gave us some really good minutes on the defensive end tonight. He played some really clutch minutes coming down in the fourth quarter, uh, and he was playing really solid defense. And I don't know, they said Hartenstein got a inflamed Achilles tendon, and he ain't been looking like himself over the last few games. but Coach Tommy T is still playing him over Jericho Sims, which don't make sense to me. You got a player like Jericho Sims on your team who's playing well. You got a guy who's hurt and can possibly have a really bad injury if he keep on playing on that Achilles. Why not rest him and play the young boy? Because the young boy is playing really good basketball right now. I just don't understand that part. But
Mm.
Jalen Brunson, he was huge tonight. Pause. Julius Randle had a good game. He was 50% from the field. Gave us 23, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Yo, we in summation, we literally dominated every facet of this game except for the free throw disparity. This
Hmm.
game was stolen from the New York Knicks by the refereeing, and I'm not a person who usually complains about referees. Like usually, I point out all our faults of what we did wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's some things we could have done better, but we were supposed to win this game if it wasn't for poor officiating.
I hear you, man. I never want the referees to decide a game. I think that takes the fun out of the basketball game. It's the National Basketball Association, not the national refereeing of the Basketball Association. I want to see the best team win because the best team outplayed the other team. You know what I mean? Not because the referees decided to step in
And one more thing, I'm sorry.
and
Our bench outscored this 13
okay.
13 to how much we had? 13. Well, we had over 30, like almost 30 points coming off the bench. You feel me? Like we dominated this game, son.
Yeah, no, I hear you. We play them next, man. We gotta handle that for y'all, man. We gotta avenge the city. You know what I'm saying? We gotta avenge the. We gotta avenge the
The only
city.
way to avenge the city is to find those refs, man. Yo, I think, yo, I really think that they need to
We
do
gotta
something
avenge
about
the city.
how the referees are graded and assessed. Like there has to be some penalties for poor officiating. Like, cause
Mm.
these guys really could go out there and do whatever, and it's just like, all right, see you your next game. They might put out. I know they got the last 2 minute report, but this game was poorly officiated all game. There has to be a better way where we could hold referees accountable for being shitty at their job. Cause tonight, all what is 3 referees on the court, all 3 of them was shitty at their job.
Yeah.
Like this is
Nah. I,
we not watching pee wee basketball. You feel me? We're watching
mm.
NBA players, grown ass men on a basketball court, bro.
Let me ask you this though: Did Tibbs challenge any of those calls?
He challenged one of them, and it was like in crunch time. Like so, it was like one of those fouls. Like yo, because it's like if we was up, I think it was up by 2, and it was a foul, and the guy was going to the line with like less than a minute left, and he challenged that foul. But it was a foul. Quentin Grimes hit the dude on the elbow. You know what I mean? But it
But
was
I mean, all right. So if you're gonna do it, walk me through it. Like, why did they go into overtime in the first place?
uh we was down by like 8, something like that, with like 5 minutes to go or some wild shit like that. And we fought back playing tough defense. Uh
What's a
Josh
tough
Hart
defense lineup?
Josh Hart gave us some problems too on the boards, man. Like he had like 14 rebounds tonight. That shit was crazy. Uh
Who's your tough defense lineup?
Tonight it was Jericho Sims, uh Julius Randle, Emmanuel Quickly, and Jalen Brunson. That was the lineup.
That's
That
four.
yeah, that and RJ Barrett.
What happened to Cam Reddish?
He got a strained groin. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Y'all win this game with Cam Reddish?
I think so because I think he would have matched up perfectly with Jeremy Grant. You know what I mean, Jeremy Grant, like he's a difficult cover, man. Like I think the boy like 6'9",
Mm-hmm.
and he got really long arms. He got a bag. Like he could shoot the three. He could take you off the dribble. He could shoot the mid range. You feel me? Like he got a bag. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
he's a difficult cover. Uh, and I think Cam Reddish with his size, pause. would have been a great matchup against uh, Jeremy Grant, and it gave it would have been a less of an opportunity for them to try to attack R.J. Barrett because Cam Reddish would probably been on the court. R.J. probably would have been on the bench. You know what I mean? Uh,
Right.
but yeah, I think Quentin Grimes did a great job tonight when he was tasked to guard Anthony Simons. You feel me? Uh, I don't understand why he didn't get a lot of PT in the second half, which is kind of baffling to me. I think Quentin Grimes was playing a pretty decent game. What, he was 7-5-5. Uh, yeah, 7-5-5 tonight, and played really good defense. I don't understand why he didn't get, and he caught a block. I don't understand why he didn't get a lot of PT in the second half. Uh, but RJ Barrett struggled tonight. He played 44 minutes. He was 6 for 22 from the field. Like, I don't understand. Like, he did come alive in the latter stages of the fourth quarter where we needed him. He got some really tough buckets coming down the stretch, but it was an ugly game for most of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, I hear you, man. Listen, and again, just sticking to the question of missing Cam Reddish. Like watching every game, vlogging, I do see the difference when a player is there and when a player is not. And real quick, I just want to get into what it is to miss Wasabi Watanabe. Like to get a little heavy on a point. I know I mentioned it earlier, but um the same shots that Wasabi was getting, Joe Harris gave. Joe Harris just missing them. And Wasabi Watanabe, we call him Wasabi because he's hot from the three. All right, just in case you was wondering.
I wasn't.
Um, or the Nets fans, any Nets fans out there wondering. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the Nets fans. We the best fans.
Cap.
Um, he swished, man. Like I said, he's the best in the league. And when I didn't look at the record, but I should see the record with him in the roster, in the lineup, in the rotation. He makes us a better team. And if Joe Harris is not going to make that shot, I think again fans are going to stay on the fence about trading him. You know, they're going to listen. Um, I don't know what direction that they go, but I know we need a big man. I don't know who we could trade Joe Harris for and how much, you know what I'm saying, teams are interested. But what I will say is him not being that guy to go to when KD is on the floor. The defense pretty much knows that the offense is going to go through KD. But if he gets doubled and he kicks it to Joe Harris and he misses this shot, I mean, if he makes the shot, he makes us a better team. If he missed the shot, you know what I'm saying? He is the second scorer in some situations, and that's what I'm saying when it comes down to rotation. I'm not really mad at Jacque Vaughn for trusting Joe Harris over even the Cam Thomas tonight, because as much as I like Cam Thomas, he wasn't playing a lot of good basketball after he had those three great games in 17, 19, 21. Now, I could contribute to why, but I'll skip past that to say that he and Jacque Vaughn chose Joe Harris over Cam Thomas tonight. And I know why. Joe Harris is a bigger guard. Joe Harris is like 6'6". Cam Thomas is like 6'3" and a half, six, something like that, 6'4". And I think, defensively, he felt like Joe maybe had more to contribute than the Cam Thomas, but that's not true.
I think it's
Joe,
if in my personal opinion, I think it might have to do more with floor spacing than anything, because Joe Harris, reputation wise, is a better
reputation.
better 3-point shooter than Cam Thomas. So I could see that being a reason, especially when you got players like KD that he does a lot of his damage in the mid range. Kyrie like to get to the cup and shoot mid range shots too. Uh, Ben Simmons wants to get as close to the basket as absolute possible. And you
Yeah.
got Nick Black don't shoot. You feel me? So you need somebody else on the court that can spread the floor for those guys. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. He does that. And reputation wise, as a late, defenses are leaving him wide open. They'll take their chances double teaming Kevin Durant and leaving Joe Harris open. because as of late, he hasn't been knocking down that three. And again, when Wasabi Watanabe is there, he is knocking down that three because all defenses, and like I said, it's going to determine whether or not we're a good team. If we could see how we could win if Boston exposed us in the playoffs with double teaming Kevin Durant, or we find a way around it. But all defenses are going to do the same thing until we find a way around it. And sometimes we do with Joe Harris not on the floor. That's a fact. When you think about all of the shooters, all of the jump shooters on the Brooklyn Nets, as of now, as a recent, he is the he's not the best. He's the least of the best. You know what I mean? I don't want to. That's a nice way to say it. You know what I mean? We got Seth Curry shooting better than him. We got Kyrie Irving shooting better than him. We got Royce O'Neal shooting better than him. Right? We got KD shooting better than him, and we got him. You know what I'm saying? And he's the least. He's supposed to be up there with Seth Curry. And Seth Curry off the bench, you can't. He's a godsend. You know what I'm saying? He get busy for the most part. Yeah, he's had games where he's been cold, but and what I will say on defense, we don't want to leave him on an island on a perimeter. That's not a good look for us. We definitely want to do more than now. So make him in a situation where he's getting help on defense. But I'd rather have him over Joe Harris on the floor as a Nets fan any day of the week, any game, any night, any game. I'm putting Seth Curry there. Joe Harris, roster spot wise, lost his roster spot to Seth Curry and Wasabi Watanabe. That's how we go. And Jacques Vaughn is, in my opinion, he's going to implement that more when Wasabi Watanabe come back. The only reason why Joe Harris is getting these minutes is because Wasabi Watanabe got hurt. Once he's back, we're going to have Seth Curry and Wasabi Watanabe in the lineup, and we'll be a better team. Not to make excuses on part of the reason why we lost. I'm just saying what it's like to miss a player in a rotation. But that being said, we could have won this game. KD got hot, caught a tech, yelled at the ref. That shit changed the game for a second. I mean, tempo wise, and Pacers. I'm just thinking like, okay, pace of the game. We had the pace of the game like around 86, 80. And then they took the pace of the game after that. But ultimately, I think Kevin Durant, he's an emotional player, and it's good to see him play with that passion. I'm not gonna lie. I think that fire is part of the reason why Ben Simmons is playing so well. This game was chippy. Nick Claxton caught a tech because he knocked Halliburton to the floor. He blocked Halliburton, and then I don't know. It's like he was about to run up the floor, and like Halliburton was right there, and he kind of like shoved him off. And to be honest with you, I like that attitude from the Brooklyn Nets. I like the intensity. I just think we need to show more discipline because that situation took away the momentum from the Brooklyn Nets from surging and come back because we were still in the game when that happened because we just caught a stop because Nick Claxton just caught a block on Halliburton. So I'm saying that to say momentum and pace of the game, it means a lot. You could be about to go on a run, and team could call a timeout or something like that. And there was a lot of that. There was a lot of lead changes in this. It was real competitive. It was a good game. It was a lot of back and forth, and it was a lot of single digit leads, and then become like a big double digit lead up until like latter in the fourth quarter. For the most part, it was close to all three quarters. Besides the last quarter, they really outscored us big time in that last quarter. Besides that, we kept it close. And I'm gonna be honest, man. It was like I said prior, it was a tough loss. We played the Pacers. Briefly, I'll go through it. That was the game before this. That game was all right. You know what I'm saying? I thought we played that game better. I thought Kyrie showed up. He looked really locked in, and it's kind of like all of the hype that has around Kyrie. This was one of the nights where you cared more about how he played basketball than all of the stuff surrounded his name. I think he was excellent. You know what I'm saying? He shot 11 for 16. He had 29 points. We had 5 players in double digits, Ben Simmons included. Ben Simmons got like 5 games in a row with double digits, man. I think he turned the corner, like I said prior. Royce O'Neal was hot, 5 for 8 for the 3. Yeah, man, we was playing good basketball, man. So the Toronto game, it was important because it was a division game as well. We beat them twice, And the way the East is looking, especially the Atlantic Division, that might matter when it come down to playoff seeding. But yeah, that's what happened in that game. Just going through the stats real quick, we shot 54%. They out rebounding us, so yeah, we still need a big man. If you're wondering, we had 19 turnovers. We could do better with the turnovers. We had 24 fouls. I don't know, man. I don't be agreeing with the refs all the time, neither. I'm gonna keep it real with you. We shot at 44% from three that game. We had 32 assists, and that's another thing. Since 1987, we haven't had four consecutive 30 30 assists plus games since 1987. We did that 5 games. Well, I would say 4 games in a row, but I'll check. If tonight we had 30, then it would have been 5 games in a row. But yeah, man, Toronto game was a good game, and I think we played well as a team. And hopefully we could play like that more. And Cam Thomas was in that lineup, and Joe Harris got his minutes cut, so that's a difference too. So maybe we gotta shed Joe Harris minutes going forward and give it to Cam Thomas, even if he ain't out there to shoot the three. He at least out there so they won't double team KD. What about you guys? Who y'all played before the Pacers?
All I want to say is this again about tonight, about the refs being trash. I remember the exact point when they started being trash. We was up 14. We took a 14-point lead in the second quarter. I was like, oh, we about to pack these boys up.
Mm-hmm.
We about to pack these boys up. And at that very moment, when we went up by 14, that's when they started calling a bajillion fouls. A
Okay.
bajillion of them, bro. And that's how the game went for the rest of the game. But we was on a road trip before this. You know what I mean? It was a tough
So
West Coast.
what was your predictions? Were you right?
Now I was wrong. Well, was I? I don't even remember what my predictions was.
I
But
think you said 3-1. I think y'all played Denver or something.
yeah, on that road trip we were 3-2
Damn, y'all
uh,
played 5 road games.
back to back. Well, we were 3-2. I'm trying to pull up the schedule real quick.
Them back to backs is tough, huh?
Yeah, so we caught a dub on the back to back. We played the first game on our road trip, our West Coast road trip. Uh, was against what you would call it, the Jazz, and then the next night we played. But that's going. We was talking about that last week. We played the Jazz, and the next night we played the Nuggets. We beat both of them. We lost to the Warriors. We lost to the Suns, and then we beat the Thunder. Uh, and then we came back home tonight. I'm very happy with a 3-2, road a tough road trip like that against. I think all these guys are playoff teams except for the Thunder. You feel me? Come back with a 3-2 record on a very tough road trip. Uh, very pleased with that, especially the first part of the road trip, getting those dubs on the back to back.
Yeah, but they the toughest team in the West right now, the Jazz.
Yeah. Caught a dub on them, and then
I think we took Portland out the number 1 spot when we beat them.
we uh what you would call it got. Then we played the Nuggets. We beat them because they didn't have the Joker, but Dejounte, not Dejounte Murray, Jamal Murray, is a beast within himself. You know what I mean? And then we lost to the Warriors. I'm not mad at losing to the defending champs, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I think we
But
kept like
prediction wise, you were how close were you? You were really close. Or you said
uh, when did the week start? I think we played. We didn't play since Monday. Tonight was our first game we played since Monday. So who we play? I think we. What was last Friday? The 18th. I can't remember.
yeah, it was the 18th.
Uh, so we went on before the Warriors game, right? We went on before our basketball games, right?
I think so. We started on time.
Yeah. So I think I was wrong. I think I was like off by like one game, I guess. You feel me? Because we only played 3 games since last Friday.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was wrong. I said we was gonna lose to Toronto. We beat Toronto. I said we was gonna beat Philly, but we lost to them. Like,
yeah.
man.
And we lost tonight, a game that I thought we was gonna win. Uh, a game that I thought we was gonna win, that we should have won, but we was robbed. You know what I mean? Highway robbery. This is disrespectful. I
Mhm.
needed investigation on the league. Them refs obviously had money on the game tonight. Check their fan duels. You know what I mean? Because they definitely had money on the spread. You know what I mean? On the
No
over.
doubt.
You know what I mean? They made the game go to overtime, so they could make sure that they over hit on the spread. You know what I mean? Underdogs on the over spread. Yo, this was just a travesty tonight of officiated, bro. Yeah,
Mm.
that's all I got to say about that. Those other two games that we lost, I'm not mad at those two games that we lost. I'm not mad at to the Suns. The way we lost to the Suns, I'm mad at, but the actual loss, I'm not mad at.
So
And
let me
second,
ask you this. Can I ask you something?
what's up?
Is Brunson winning these point guard matchups? Because you know the Knicks always said we need a point guard, and you know what all
Oh,
the
Jalen Brunson
expectations
is
around Brunson.
he's he has a bad game here and there, but for the most part, I think Jalen Brunson over his last like 4 games, 4 or 5 games, have been 20 plus points, 6, 7 assists. Hold on, I'm gonna get the actual stats right now. I mean, cause
But he's competing with these tougher point guards.
so look, tonight he had 32 against OKC. He had 34. Against Phoenix, he had 27. He had a bad game against the Warriors. He only had 13 points. Against Denver, he had 21. Against Utah, he had 25. Pretty bad game against OKC because the whole team was bad against the first game against OKC. He only had 17. And before that, Detroit, he had 26. And most of these games is 5 plus assists a game. You know what I mean? So, and he's doing it. He's shooting 50% from the field for the season. You know what I mean? So Jalen Brunson is giving us everything that we wanted. Like I said, he has a bad game here and there, but for the most part, he's been really solid. Uh,
But is he a cone like on defense? Like, I'm saying that to say like Simon had 38, he had 32. So technically, you know, he lost that matchup in my opinion. Now, like you said, Grant on the other hand, he's
but he
not
played,
being guarded
but
by
he wasn't.
Brunson.
Brunson wasn't guarding Simon. You feel me?
Okay,
RJ Barrett or Grimes were guarding Simon, and
okay.
Simon didn't really start going off until excuse me, Quentin Grimes went to the bench. That's when Simon started to get hot. He was struggling in the beginning of the game.
So who was guarding him when Grimes went to the bench?
It was between R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, I believe. No, R.J. Barrett and Deuce McBride.
So Deuce McBride was he got cooked.
Yeah, he was shooting over him. You know what I mean, Simmons is nice, man. Like you,
No, I
really.
know. We
So
know. We no no
so
no. We
so
know.
and I'll say this because
They're
uh
the only team with three players averaging over 20
yeah,
with Lit Dame, Simons, and Grant.
yeah. So and I say that because like with guys are special, there's only so much you could do to stop these guys, right? So I'm not expecting. This kid is averaging 23 points a game on the season, bro. Like he's really balling out here. You feel me? He just gave Milwaukee 29 the other night. You feel me? Like he's really balling out here. So I ain't really like I'm not expecting Deuce McBride to lock up Anthony Simon.
Mhm.
Like I'm not expecting that.
No,
You feel me?
I'm dissecting it and seeing
Yeah.
like who fault it is. Is it the coach fault or is it the player fault?
think
Like,
I think he definitely should have had Quentin Grimes out there more to guard him. You feel me? Because Quentin
but
Grimes is
maybe he just came back
like
from injury. You said that though.
If you're starting the kid, obviously he healthy enough and he had enough time to warm up. He had a few games where he was only playing 13 minutes, 12 minutes. You feel me? Because he was coming back from injury. You feel me? Like
Shit.
now it's time. If you're gonna start the kid, let him get the PT, and if he's not healthy enough, then
You sound real mad about tonight loss, man. I'm not gonna
we
hold
was
you,
we
bro.
was robbed. You feel me? Like
I hear you.
I
I
could
hear you, man.
I could take a loss if we play well and the team was just a better team, right? I could take a loss at that. We played well and they weren't a better team than us tonight. I laid out the stats. We dominated this game in every facet except for free throws, and they out rebound us by 3. But other than that, we scored more field goals. We scored more 3-pointers. We
Mm.
we had more steals, more blocks, more assists, more fast break points, more points in the paint. Like, what
So
else
yeah,
do you,
should have been 4-1, basically, is what you're saying.
bro? Absolutely, 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 bro. Because it was disrespectful today. The fouls that were being called, and I'm mad at Coach Tommy T because he should have caught a tech tonight. He should. He does a lot of yelling. He does yell
Mm.
at the refs. Refs do let Coach Tommy T get away with a lot of yelling at him, but now he had to turn up tonight.
Yo, man,
Yo,
I
they had
mean,
to turn up
it's
tonight,
painful.
and he didn't turn up tonight. And I was kind of like, yo, you got to throw something on the fucking court to be like, yo, we're not gonna stand for you, literally trying to rob us. We went up by we was cooking these boys' boots. It was about to be a wrap. We went up by 14. The refs like, you ain't about to fuck up my parlay tonight.
That's fucked up.
And
That's
started
fucked
blowing.
up.
Yo, one person shot more free throws than my whole entire team, or just as much, 20. Because we shot 28, he shot 28. That is
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. They
Mm-hmm.
almost doubled them as a team. They almost doubled the amount of free throws that my team shot.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. It's
And it,
terrible, man.
my thing is, and you wasn't called. Yo, they called the defensive foul on Jalen Brunson when Josh Hart, like, he was standing still, son. Like, he was going. Jalen Brunson was going to catch a charge, right? And, yo, you get me?
I got a little bit.
Uh, uh,
It's
Yeah.
coming in and out. Now it's good.
So Jalen Brunson standing there about to take charge of the basket. Josh, yo,
It's coming in and out. It's like in and out.
you get me? Yo.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so shoulder check Jalen Brunson, knocked it down. And I'm talking,
a little bit now. A little bit.
yo,
Yo,
you get me?
yeah.
Yeah. So they called the defensive foul on that after this dude ran Jalen Brunson straight over when he was standing in the legal defensive position. Drawing. I'm like, yeah, the fix is in, bro. The fix is in. The fix is in, bro. Like,
That's crazy, yeah.
and with all that, we still, and it just goes to show you with them shooting 51 free throws as a team, we
Mm,
still lost by 3. We
damn.
in overtime. Like,
Yeah, yeah. No, I'll be honest. I remember
it
I
is
was locked.
Brunson, my fault. I will say this: Jalen Brunson did have a chance to win the game in regulation. He got
Okay.
he got to his spot, and the floater that he's automatic with. He hit this. I watched him hit this floater all game, every game. He missed it at the buzzer. You know what I mean? We could
Damn.
have got up out of there with a dub tonight. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm not even mad at Jalen Brunson because we was only in that position because of him. You feel me? Like, he
Mm-hmm.
brought us back into this game. And I saw more emotion from him tonight. You could tell he wanted this dub. I saw more
Mm-hmm.
emotion from him tonight than I've seen him since he been in Nick. Like, Jalen Brunson, he quietly bust your ass, right? He won't yell or nothing like that. He was yelling. Like, what the
Mm-hmm.
fuck they thought? I'm like, let's go, JP.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
you gotta love that. It's for the sport, man. It's all for the love of the game. But it just reminds me of the other day we were playing Portland, and I think I mentioned this. KD missed the game winning shot. And we won the game because Royce O'Neal is the bigger guard over Anthony Simons, and he went to the paint, jumped over him, and tipped it in. So I said that to say that That's how I gotta be in the game winning situation sometime where even your go-to guy, you know what I mean, need help sometimes. I'm saying because if Royce O'Neal wasn't there and it went to overtime in Portland, I'm scared of what the refs might have done to us. You know what I'm saying?
About there was
So
an opportunity for that because Jalen Brunson did a smart thing.
no. I wasn't saying it to
No,
contrast to the
no,
Jalen
I'm
Brunson.
saying I'm telling you why it wasn't no opportunity for a tipping because he waited to take the last shot. Like literally, he made sure his shot was the last shot in regulation. Because
Okay.
on the opposite side, if he left time on the court, anything could happen. You
Yeah.
we see miracle 3/4 shot heaves to win games. You feel me? Like, so you don't want that to happen. You rather take your chances going into OT and trusting in your team. You take
Mhm.
the last shot, you miss it. All right, we in OT. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, the refs killed us tonight, man.
Yeah. Now I was saying that to say KD, yeah, like he said all the spicy stuff about his teammates. He walked it back, sent the text out to his teammates because he said he felt embarrassed. He felt bad about it. I watched the interview with him. He got a podcast called The Ballroom, so I checked it out, and yeah, he said he walked back his statements. He felt bad. He got to be around those guys. They his teammates, and when he explained what he meant by it, he was trying to say like these are roles that they never played before, and y'all expecting them to do something different and be a championship caliber team with roles they just being acclimated to. So he kind of doubled down on it, but he explained it thoroughly, which was nice. But yeah, I said that to say, yeah, he missed that game winning shot, and if Royce O'Neal didn't have his back, you know what I mean? Like they played with like, oh, words like that, KD. If they felt some type of way, it would have been just us missing that shot. And then again, the horror story of the refs you just told me, we probably would have left with an L. But that being said, it was a team contribution. I'm saying that to say that the team responded well after KD made that comment. So the Nets are going through a lot. They're going through a lot with KD. He had this, and pretty much, he shows his leadership on a night to night or game to game basis. And I kind of like the fact that he is showing up. Like it's up for him to show up. He shows up. But sometimes I do see that he could get a little frustrated. Sometimes he'll take ill-advised shots because he's frustrated, and rightfully so. I'm not gonna lie. You mentioned the refs. I didn't say much about them, but they definitely found more. They fouled Kevin Durant a lot. He's a superstar, rightfully so. Like people debate it or whatever, but he doesn't get a lot of superstar calls, man. As much as people may think he does. I do see he get what KD got 2 free throws tonight. You know what I'm saying? Jeremy Grant, who I mean, he could get 28 free throws. Is he a superstar? I remember they used to call the whoever got the free throws the most the Jordan rule. Like, oh, the Jordan rule, you can't do nothing. You can't touch him. You're gonna go to the free throw line or something like that. And just in contrast, it just goes to show that it's awfully I don't know what's the word for it, suspicious or awfully suspicious is a good word for it, that KD could only get 2 free throws at that whole game, and he was attacking the basket. Everything wasn't a jump shot. um yeah, 28 free throws is mind-boggling, to be honest with you. So I'm just in contrast saying that Jeremy Grant is not a free throw shooter. I mean, he's not a superstar who would get free throws. He never took 28 free throws in his whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? KD out there, one of the
Nobody,
best scorers ever.
nobody in the NBA has taken that many free throws this season.
Yeah, like, you know
32.
what I'm saying?
I think
Like,
everybody got like almost 20 games. So you're talking about like how like 200, 300 games, and nobody in the NBA is taking that many free throws except for that guy tonight, which was wild.
that's crazy. And I'm just saying, like, damn, KD really don't get no calls, yo. And they be fouling him. And as a fan, you'll see more of the fouls, and you be like, some of it, you like, yeah, you want him to play through it, but no bullshit. Like, they are physical with us. as a team. Teams are physical with us, and even Ben Simmons, he got fouled out tonight, and some of the fouls they call on him are real ticky tack. Like, damn, like I mean, these teams are coming at us like they're a physical team. What do you expect from us to be all finesse? Like, some of that gotta be gritty, some of that gotta be tough, some of that, you know what I mean? Those are men, and I don't want to see the sport become robotic because refs are quick to call text when players get passionate about winning. You gotta let some of that fly. Some of that you gotta, say contribute. Call how about you say it's part of the game. You know what I mean? It's part of the game, man. You gotta let these players, you know what I mean, play with intensity. They're not robots. They're actual people.
We got to call a Kev. Talk your shit, Kev.
Yo, what's good, y'all? You already know Knicks run the city.
Facts.
I just want y'all to give me my flowers because I told y'all KD said that shit and y'all kept saying that he didn't. That's number one, right? He was throwing it. I kept telling y'all that dude was a snake. He's a snake in the grass.
Nah, I don't think he's a snake in the grass.
And that's why y'all having chemistry issues, bro. This is why things are happening, and this is why this is all happening to the Brooklyn Nets. Bro. That's why they not winning right now. Telling you. That's number one. So number two. I'm tired. Now this goes for Knicks fans, bro. And I'm sick and tired of Knicks fans switching up on our players.
Yeah, they do that.
It's getting to a point where it's ridiculous, bro. We looking like a weak fan base because every time something don't work out, we start switching up, trade everybody. Then they wonder why stars don't want to come and play in New York. The bullshit got to stop, man. Like, these stars see these things.
Right.
And then nobody want to come out here and deal with all these fans switching up on them. Because these kids that we have on this team, man, they hard-working players, bro. They play hard every single game. And they give it their all. And they hear all the bullshit that y'all talk about, man. And that shit needs to stop, man. We need to put more positive vibes out there for these kids, man. Maybe we'll get some wins out of it instead of y'all trashing them all the time, man. So that's my rant of the night, man, because this shit is pissing me off already with these Knicks fans, bro. We look weak doing shit like that, bro. But anyway, man, y'all have a good night, man. All right, bro, later.
Yeah, nah, Kev, right, man. Like, I be on, like, I don't be on Nick Twitter like that anymore because it drives me crazy just to see 1 minute, players is playing well. He the greatest. He have a couple bad games. Oh, he's a bum. Trade him. I'm like, bro, like that's not how it works. Like RJ Barrett going through it right now. Do I think he's going to come out of this slump that he's in? Absolutely. Look at the game that he had against OKC shows that he just need to work on being consistent. He had a great game against OKC. I think he dropped like 25 points or some wild shit like that against OKC. But he had a few bad games to start the season. People are turning on him. He's a bum. Trade him. He ain't gonna never be shit. I'm like, yo, y'all wilding. He's playing a new role now too. You feel me? Because now him, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson has to find some continuity where they know where they supposed to get their shots up at, right? They got to share the basket. Julius Randle, in my opinion, is fitting into his new role seamlessly. Like again, tonight he had a really good game. He was 50% from the field, 23 points. I'll take that. 6 rebounds. I'll take that. You feel me? He was efficient. He wasn't forcing. He wasn't jacking up a whole bunch of bad shots like he was the last season. And I think RJ Barrett is going through what Julius Randle went through last year, trying to do too damn much. You feel me? And fans is trying to change up on him. And, Even when Jalen Brunson have a bad game, oh, he too small, trade him. I'm like, yo, bro, y'all wilding. Y'all wilding. Emmanuel quickly, he was having a bad shooting performance at the beginning of the season, but he was playing well in all the other aspects of his game, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
whoever just called back, my fault. I just saw that I got a missed call. Call back. I don't know why it didn't ring. You know what I mean? But call back. And this is the last call we taking because I'm about to be off this soon. You heard? But yeah, they Nick fans are rough, man. That's why they say New York is a very hard place to play. It's not for the Knicks is a very hard team to play for. It's not for the faint at heart. You know what I mean? Because they going Nick fans is rough, man. They love you 1 minute, next minute you ass. Who running city? Who this?
You already know what it is. This is Jay, by the way.
Yeah, Nets fans in the building. Nets fans, the best fans.
Yo, man, I called your phone and say, it's a lot of tough games out there, man. It's a tough loss tonight, and I'm going to tell Breezy, I don't know if I'm sold on the job gone yet, man. I need to hear what you think about what he did in that fourth quarter.
All
That
right.
lineup he put in, like, ruined the whole game. But
Okay.
besides that, what the Knicks won tonight?
Nah. We got beat by the refs tonight.
Nah, the refs in all of these games been on some wild shit, I feel like. But I feel like they trying to establish their dominance, period.
Yo, Jay. Yo, peep game, bro. I don't know if you heard me earlier when I was laying out the stats, right? But I'm gonna tell you again what happened. Right, Jeremy Grant shot 28 free throws tonight. He shot the same amount of free throws as my whole team. That's the most free throws shot by an NBA player this season, right? As
God
a
damn.
team, the Blazers shot 51 free throws tonight. We only shot.
Yo, that's good.
But yo, I was telling Big Fan Breezy, we actually scored more actual field goals than they did. We scored more 3-pointers than they did. They out rebounded us by 3. We scored more points in the paint. We had more transition.
And they went straight off the free throws.
We had more assists. You feel me? We had more steals and blocks. You feel me? Like we dominated this game in every asset except for the free throws. And then there was the exact point. You could see where it happened. We went up by 14 points in the second quarter. That's when the refs started calling fouls.
Yeah, man. The refs been disrespecting Ben Simmons all year. Like he tapped somebody. He can't get no sort of contact or nothing but the foul.
I think there should be some kind of accountability. We got the NBA needs to find some way to hold sucking at their job. You feel me?
Yo, he got posted in the he clapped because they didn't score no foul. They called a tech on him.
Yeah, bro. They be bugging, bro.
Yeah.
I wanted Coach Tommy T to catch a tech tonight because we was getting disrespected. Like he was supposed to catch a tech tonight. Like, bro, like the way they were calling these fouls, Coach Tommy T was supposed to call it.
Yeah, man. Somebody something. It's crazy. But me, the way I'm looking at it, the NBA told them, yo, y'all got to game different. Call fouls for this and in all of the games. It's not even one game.
Yeah. And my thing is, if you gonna call fouls like that, do it on both ends, bro.
Fact.
Do it on both ends. Like, ain't nobody gonna complain if you calling ticky-tack fouls on both sides. It's just like, that's just what the game is tonight. But when you
they reach
51
through
28, bro, that is crazy.
Yo, man. Both teams need to play better. I'm gonna say that, but Brooklyn always runs everything.
That's
I'm out of here.
That's cap. Appreciate you for calling, but that's cap.
That's a fact. And hold up. I'm going to address Marlon since I know he in the comments. You know what I mean? Talk about our cap on everything. You got to listen to what I said. I said Deuce Tatum is the hardest dude on the Celtics, and I mean it.
He said
I said Deuce Tatum. Yes, you gonna say, oh yeah, Marcus. You said Marcus Smart. But I was just dissing the Celtics, so I said Deuce Tatum is the hardest dude on their team. And did you see when Deuce Tatum had to beat up the dude for his pot after the game?
I see that.
That was funny. So I'm joking with the Celtics fan. He like, oh, you're saying this and that.
And I believe it though. Deuce be with the smoke for his pops.
Yeah, Deuce is that dude. I like that little kid, man. But word though, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
We appreciate you.
But both teams need to play better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a fact. I agree with that statement. I holla, Brody.
But all right.
Yeah. Shout out to Jay, man.
Shout out to Jay. That's a whole mess. You got a Nets fan talking to a Knicks fan and a Nets fan about a Celtic fan that he was talking. It's just nasty. Shout out to the Celtic fan. I know who he talking about. He was on my podcast talking about it, but Marlon wasn't there. And then Jay was talking about it, and then Marlon said something. But you know they be chatting. Marlon was scared to put me on a live the other day talking about represent cap culture. Stop it. I pulled up to your podcast looking to smoke you, and you ain't put me in. You ain't tagged me. Now, like I said, I just wanted to ask one question. What was your energy when the Knicks whooped the Knicks ass? That's the question I wanted to ask, and I wanted to wait until I was here to ask it. But now that you know the question, you can answer it. Now to Jay, and I'm listening to you, and again, I was overwhelmed with how Grant had 28 free throws. Now, again, there was a disparity between us tonight, but when you said that, I totally forgot about the disparity of free throws, and I heard
throws tonight.
Bro, we had
like 10 to 31 or some shit.
10
like
to 38. Like, and again, like I said, you heard me do more to recap without mentioning the free throws, and I see both of us like to do that. Salute. But the point is it's blaring. It is waving the plane down, sticks, pause. Type of shit you cannot deny, ignore. It is the pink elephant in the room. Like, and what it does is this: it changes the tempo of the game. Anytime the team about to go on a run, good defensive plays, and this is why KD was barking at the refs, because it was plays where they look like they're going to score on a fast break, and KD he'll get a block. There was a play where one of the Pacers threw it to somebody in the paint, a pacer in the paint, and we collapsed on them on defense. Like, so the guy went up, and then we punched this shit. We blocked them on the glass, and then you know what I'm saying? We got the ball. Case in point is when we kept doing stuff like that, the ref started calling foul. So to me, we were playing intense defense. We were playing, but they played tough. Like they play tough, bro. They're not playing us soft. You know what I mean? They playing us tough, and we playing tough too. Like I said, Ben Simmons turned the corner. He's playing great basketball, grabbing boards. He's doing a lot of basketball. But again, the pace of the game and the tempo of the game should not rely on the refs blowing the whistle. And that's what happened tonight. Sorry it happened to you. I'm sorry to the Knicks. I'm sorry it happened to us. You know what I mean? If we lose, hey, listen, it is what it is. But this was nasty work.
Well, now my theory is kind of wrong now that I think about it. But for the most part, I'm seeing a lot of games that's ending 105 to 98, 108 to 102. The NBA don't want those scores, bro. The NBA want 120, 115 scores. That's how they want these games to be ending, bro. Mm-hmm. And what I'm seeing is teams are playing some decent defense. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like, we're playing some decent defense. The NBA don't want to go back to the 90s where the games are 98 to 100. Like, they don't want to go back to that. I love those games because
let's get in. Before you go, I just wanted to say something to that. Before you go, I wanted to say something to that. They consider games that aren't a lot of points, quote unquote, slow. I really don't when I watch the game because it be fast paced, but it be defense. They even playing defense on fast breaks. You ever seen fast break defense? Like they're not just running down and getting the layup. The actual, you know how they say don't give up on a play and they actually run down the floor and contest the shot. Like that's happening too. And yeah, it is that. And they did a study and they explained, and I did that last week, and I explained from 2001 to 2002 up until present time the three-pointer has been taken 39 more percent by all NBA teams. Case in point is they do look for high scoring games, and they feel like this making the league more of a jump shooting team, a three-point shooting league. The players last longer, the athletes last longer. I don't know, and they just got a bunch of reasons why they don't want us to play physical. You know what I mean? They rather us more finesse than physicality, but it gotta be a combination, man. You can't be all finesse out here taking threes. Some of this basketball is won by gritty, tough basketball, man.
And
So
those defensive games be the ones that be like mad close and exciting at the end. Like
yeah,
it'd be like, yo, who gonna get this bucket? Who gonna get this stop? And that's what I think, man. I think that they don't want that to happen. They need those numbers to go up. What you call it? And then in another crucial play that was a bad call tonight. Uh, Jalen Brunson, they was inbounding the ball, right? It was I think overtime. So we trapped Anthony Simon, um, and you know Jalen Brunson came out of nowhere and stripped the ball from him while he wasn't looking. Caught all ball. They called the foul. They called the foul. Yo, and I'm like, yo, he's right in front of you, ref. Like, what are you watching? That was all ball. Ripped them. That would have, if we would have got the ball, we could have either went down by one or tied the game. Like,
that shit's crucial.
yeah,
Crucial moments, the refs decide who has possession of the ball. And I'm looking at the stat, I'm listening to everything you're saying. I'm like, damn, we had more 2-pointers than them and more 3-pointers than them. They really beat us at the free throw line, bro. Like,
I was looking at the stats. I turned over the ball a lot. I had like 19 turnovers today.
but in that, we was getting stops too. And like I said, when we was getting the stops, they was calling fouls. So they was making sure they scored on that possession. I mean, playing basketball like for the whole shot clock damn there. And then imagine you play the whole shot clock and then they call foul. You're like, God damn. You can't even do like you make them use the whole shot clock and then they put up a shot they miss and then you call foul for them. It was some of that. They got some bailouts. Less than 5, I call it less than 5 seconds, and they put up a shot and they don't. You could look at it. What I will say is, I wish that Jacques Vaughn challenge, but you only get one challenge per coach. I don't think you get more than one challenge.
I think is which I think is trash.
You could have challenged Matt of those calls.
I think honestly, if you should get a challenge until you get it wrong. If I'm right, well, I'll take away my challenge.
That's a fact.
Challenge.
That's a fact.
And then if I'm wrong, then I lose my challenges for the rest of the game, and you take a timeout
for the rest of the half.
Now I'm cool with it being for the rest of the game as long as if I'm right, right? As long as if I'm right, I keep it. You feel me? Because you don't want coaches just challenging calls because I got another one in the next half. You feel me? So I'm just use it cause you feel me? Like you want them to be sure that they're right, and they be like, yeah, I'm gonna use it because I know we gonna keep my challenge. You feel me? So that's why I think they should just keep it as long as they right. They keep their challenge. I feel you. The rest of the game, but I think because there's so many plays, like that's why coaches don't be using their challenges on plays that clearly that you be like, yo, challenge that. That's horrible, but they like, I don't know. It ain't that time of the game because if I use it now, I might need it later. Yeah. Oh, after this, I'm out of here, bro. So
I got you.
Because Jay did actually talk about Jack Vaughn
Yeah.
But he said that
Um.
up the game.
Yeah. Nah. Well, Jay. What I will say is two things. One, to address you based on what I've seen thus far, John Fallon, he has to stop trusting Joe Harris. We were all excited about Joe Harris' return when he came back when we was versus Toronto. Remember, we was on the jumbotron, we Millie rocking, and we chilling and all of that. But from then till now, you look at Joey's production, you gotta sit him. You gotta take him out the starting lineup, and he can't. He don't need to be the sixth man either. You don't need to be the man in the lineup. So again, you're gonna be the man at any lineup you see Joe Harris on the floor. That being said, Cam Thomas has been more productive, and if you're not going to play Cam Thomas, definitely add Summer over Joe Harris because his defense is better than Joe Harris' defense. And some that you might not trust him with the three, but at least he'll attack the basket and maybe we'll get a foul. You know what I'm saying? So in that respect, I agree with Jay. I think he should have went with Sumner or Cam Thomas over Joe Harris in the fourth quarter because Joe Harris, he's an offensive he's a liability on both sides of the ball. Yeah, in a nutshell, I'll probably chop it up. I might do it next tonight after this. It's late. I know T Tom say he trying to spend. But again, we were 2-2 from last Friday to this Friday. I said we would be 3-1. I said we would lose to Toronto because it was a back-to-back, and we wound up being 2-2. We lost to Philly. We lost tonight. We beat who we beat? The Grizzlies. We beat the Grizzlies and we beat Toronto. Good beating Toronto because it was a division game. Bad losing to Philly because it was a division game. Before next Friday, we got 4 games. We got Sunday, we play Portland because of the foul shit. Excuse me. I think we adjust to it and we get a win. I think we beat them. We got a back-to-back on Monday. Orlando isn't an easy at. Well, they at us, so hopefully we ready for that game. I don't think all back-to-backs are tough, but based on recent history, back-to-back situations, we win 50% of the time. So I imagine that optimistically, we win both of these games, but I can see us losing one because it's a back-to-back. The Wizards, we got a day rest. We played them Wednesday. I think we beat them. We getting serious about winning. Ben Simmons turned the corner. Him and Kyle Kuzma. That's going to be a good matchup. I think we win that because of the Ben Simmons Kyle Kuzma matchup. I know Porzingis probably going to go off, but he can't. He not going to win the game for them. I think we win that game. Then we play again next week on Friday, 7:30. So we might start late once again. We play Friday. That's gonna be a tough at Toronto. I know they ain't trying to let us go up 3-0 in the season series. Is a rivalry, respectfully, between the Nets and the Raptors. So I know they're gonna come with their best. So I don't know. Respectfully, I don't know. We may or may not win, but it is a home game stretch for us. But so out of Brooklyn, out of respect, I'm gonna say we're gonna go 4-0. But if we were 3-1 in this situation, or even 2-2, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm heavy with the 4-0 and more on the 3-1 because of the back-to-back. But yeah, I'm looking for 4-0 or 3-1 for next week.
All right, really quick. We play 3 games until next Friday. Sunday we play the Grizzlies. We owe them. You feel me? So I think we're gonna come out with the dub. We played them at the Garden. I think we're gonna come out with the dub. Especially, I know we are mad about this loss tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That fire and desire. I want to see. Ja is a special player. You can only try to slow him down. You can't technically stop him. So I want to see what Quentin Grimes look like guarding Ja. But I think we come away with the dub on that. Then we play the Pacers on Tuesday. The Pistons, the Pistons on Tuesday in Detroit. I like our chances. Pistons play hard, but they can't close out no game, man. The Pistons play hard, but they can't close out no game. So I think we catch a dub there, and then we play the Bucks on Wednesday in the Garden. That's a toss up, man. That's a toss up. It's the Bucks. It's Giannis. You feel me? So I ain't gonna be super arrogant and say that that's a win for us. So I'm just gonna say 2-1. You know what I mean? We beat the Grizzlies, the Pistons. We take the loss to the Bucks. But yeah, yo, shout out to everybody that pulled up tonight. I'm out of here. You know what I mean?
Yo, peace, y'all, man. I'll see y'all sooner than later. It's Big Fan Breezy and Tea Time. Thank y'all for tuning in. Get with y'all later.
Holla.